Hey everyone, back in August 2022, a raging wildfire tore through the forests of Brandenburg, Germany, scorching hundreds of acres and leaving nothing but charred ruins in its wake. With their natural habitat wiped out and food sources vanishing fast, a group of over 200 baboons had no choice but to flee the hills and venture into nearby urban areas in a desperate bid for survival. What nobody saw coming was how quickly their population would skyrocket, ballooning into the tens of thousands and fanning out across the country in a matter of months. Soon enough, locals were catching glimpses of these primates everywhere, perched on rooftops, scampering through busy streets, and even showing up uninvited on front porches. A handful of curious onlookers learned the hard way that getting too close could turn ugly, as the baboons lashed out aggressively, pinning people to the ground until quick-thinking neighbors stepped in to help. Fueled by their untamed nature, the animals zipped across highways, sparking massive traffic snarls and a string of costly crashes that racked up thousands in repairs. As anxiety and irritation mounted, residents banded together, determined to reclaim their sense of normalcy and safety. When baboons began invading neighborhoods across Germany, local authorities stepped up with decisive action to reclaim the peace. They rolled out targeted hunts and strategic culling programs, all designed to minimize harm while getting the job done. Their smart, no-nonsense strategy delivered results fast, slashing the baboon population from over 84,000 to just around 2,000 in only 6 years. With the threat dialed way back, residents could finally relax and enjoy safer streets and backyards. Over in Germany, baboon hunting season fires up in August and wraps up by February the following year. If you're gearing up to participate, grab a valid license from the wildlife department first. It's non-negotiable. The rules are crystal clear and strictly enforced. Leave the youngsters and pregnant females alone, skip any poison baits entirely, and steer clear of areas too close to homes. That's why most hunters head deep into the woods, staking out spots near rivers and creeks where these clever critters often show up to hunt for grub. When baboons started causing chaos in German neighborhoods, officials had to step in with some serious muscle to get things under control. They kicked off precise hunts and well-thought-out culling efforts, all handled with care to avoid unnecessary harm. This tough but smart plan paid off big time, dropping the baboon numbers from over 84,000 down to about 2,000 in just 6 years. Folks in the area could finally breathe easy, knowing their homes and communities were back to being safe havens. Germany's baboon hunting season kicks off in August and runs through February of the next year. If you're looking to join in, you'll need a solid license from the wildlife folks. No shortcuts there. The regs are straightforward and non-negotiable. Hands off the young ones and expecting moms. Forget about using any poison bait and keep a safe distance from populated spots. That's why hunters typically venture way into the woods, scoping out riverbanks and creeks where these crafty animals head for their next meal. After getting the baboon numbers in check, German officials rolled out a smarter, gentler strategy, sterilizing the survivors and setting them free back in their natural habitats. This move won over critics who weren't fans of hunting, while keeping the ecosystem in harmony without wiping out the species. The whole process was handled with top-notch precision by seasoned vets, making sure every animal came through safe and sound. Germany's showdown with those invasive baboons really drives home a key lesson. Safeguarding our communities sometimes calls for a mix of grit and compassion, blending hard-hitting tactics with kinder, sustainable fixes. It's got me thinking, what would you do if these clever critters started turning your backyard into their playground? Hello, everyone. Let's dive right into the savage majesty of the African lion, one of nature's ultimate powerhouses. Picture this, a beast with raw muscle that can drop prey, weighing 4 times its size in a blur of fangs and fury. No wonder it's crowned the undisputed king of the wild. But here's the twist. In a world shrinking fast, humanity's stepping up as the real wildcard hunter, turning the savannah into a high-stakes showdown where survival hangs by a thread thinner than spider silk. Every year, roughly 100 people worldwide tangle with lions, and about 1 in 3 of those run-ins end in tragedy. As these majestic beasts encroach on our backyards and farmlands, folks are scrambling for smarter ways to keep the peace without sparking all-out war. So here's the million-dollar question. If a full-grown lion started prowling your suburb, would you roll the dice on living side by side, or step up and show who's boss? Sure, trophy hunting lions is off-limits in most corners of the globe these days, but a handful of African nations still green-lighted to keep roaring numbers in check. Don't get it twisted, this ain't your weekend fishing trip. It's raw, heart-pounding showdowns reserved for the gutsiest souls with serious field miles under their belts. We're talking hours of blending into the bush with killer camo, ghosting through the underbrush without a whisper, and piecing together faint paw prints like a detective on a deadline. Slip up even once, and that king of the savannah might just claim you as its next meal. The moment of truth hits, and it's go time. Pull that trigger. In the heat of the standoff, seasoned hunters reach for beasts like the .375 H&H Magnum, a rifle that's all muscle with pinpoint precision out to 100 or 200 yards. But for a clean, ethical kill on a lion, you'll be inside 50 yards. That's when things get raw and real, toe-to-toe with raw power. We're talking a prime male lion tipping the scales at 500 pounds and uncoiling to almost 10 feet of muscle and fury, a nightmare matchup that no amount of firepower fully tames. Most times, it takes 2 or 3 well-placed rounds straight to the vitals, heart, lungs, or throat, to drop in cold. Yet in those heart-pounding scrambles for survival, some pros have emptied their mag, blasting away 5 or 6 times to halt a full-throttle blitz from the undisputed lord of the savannah. Think you could stare down a thunderous rush from 30 yards out? Every year, roughly 600 lions fall to legal hunts across Africa's vast savannas, according to major wildlife watchdogs, and that stat alone ignites a firestorm of arguments. On one side, proponents swear it's the key to keeping lion numbers in check, preventing overpopulation from stressing habitats and prey. Detractors, though, see it as a straight-up slaughter, warning that it could tip the scales toward extinction for these majestic cats. Tanzania, home to the planet's biggest pride with over 20,000 lions roaming free, shoulders the heaviest load. Hunters their bag 250 to 300 of them annually, nearly half the continent's total. Love it or hate it, trophy hunting pumps serious cash into the veins of rural African villages that desperately need it. A single lion safari can run a wealthy outfitter $50,000 or more, before you even factor in travel, guides, or gear, and the whole industry rakes in about $200 million a year across the continent, with big cats like lions driving a huge chunk of that revenue.
Thank you.
Local outfits use the funds for schools, clinics, and anti-poaching patrols, turning predators into economic saviors. But here's the gut punch. Does that stack of green really justify the blood of hundreds of kings on the grasslands? Every time a dominant male lion falls to a hunter's bullet, the whole pride throws into chaos. The social order crumbles, and opportunistic young males swoop in, wasting no time in slaughtering the defenseless cubs to clear the way for their own offspring. It's a brutal cycle that not only breaks hearts but hammers lion numbers even harder, pushing these kings of the savannah closer. Welcome to Leopard Farm, where the fight against wild boars is a year-round showdown. These relentless critters don't take a break, showing up any time of day, no matter the season. In fall, when crisp leaves crackle under your boots, every hunt throws new curveballs. Come winter, with snow piling high and a bone-chilling cold settling in, the game changes entirely. Each season reshapes the battlefield, forcing us to stay sharp, adapt, and push forward. But our goal never wavers: stop these destructive beasts in their tracks. Chasing wild boars ain't for the faint of heart. Every shot demands hours of quiet watching, careful planning, and nerves of steel, pitting human grit against the wild's unpredictability. On this hunt, we're deep in a forest blanketed by heavy snow, where bare trees stand like ghostly guards. In the distance, the crunch of hooves on snow betrays a herd of boars trudging along, oblivious to us. A single shot rips through the icy air, clean and sharp. 2 boars drop, staining the snow, while the rest
determined to
disappearing into the skeletal woods. A monstrous boar explodes from the frost-covered trees, charging with raw, unstoppable power. Instinct takes over. There's no time to hesitate. A bullet tears through the frigid air, striking the beast dead center in the skull. It collapses into the snow with a heavy thud, swallowed by the white expanse. Across the clearing, our golden retriever barks with relentless fury, flushing another boar into the open.
Bang!
The dog's instincts guide David steadily. The second shot cracks the silence, and the boar stumbles, then crumples, as if the winter itself claimed it. High on a nearby ridge, our teammate Thomas settles into position, scanning the treacherous terrain. The hillside is a maze of jagged cliffs and steep drops, where boars lurk in dense brush or shadowy crevices, nearly invisible to the untrained eye. Suddenly, a boar bursts from the undergrowth, shattering the stillness like a loosed arrow. With 10 years of hunting under his belt, Thomas reacts in a heartbeat, shouldering his rifle and firing. The shot is flawless. The boar drops instantly. Further down the slope, another boar grazes, oblivious to the danger. Thomas zeroes in, his focus unshakable, and with a single lethal shot, the beast falls. Think Thomas nailed the perfect shot? Drop your thoughts in the comments.